So today's little project at the end of my garage, I'd like to build a shelving unit. It's going to be about 10 feet long by 2 feet in depth and about 6 feet high, and that way I can clean up the garage and put some storage bins. So the way I'm doing this, it's going to be 10 feet long, so I've got a 10 foot 2x4s for the length. The center bracing is 21 inches, so this will give 24 inches in depth for the shelf and a couple braces in between. So I've made 4 of these. I'm going to have 4 shelves, and it's easier to pre-make them on the ground, and that way when you're stacking them, when you're building them, you know that they're all the exact same size. And what I'm using to screw it all together is deck screws we had left over from a previous project. So this should have no issues in holding this together. And I should mention too, it's about -10, so like most guys, we always decide to do these projects in the most unsmartest time of the year. So what I've done next is cut a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch plywood in half, and that will give the 2 feet by 8 feet, and then I'll have to cut another piece to fill in the end here. What I'm also going to do is cut one more 2x4 to go in between here. That way I can screw the joint here down so it's not flimsy in between. There we go. So this is the support that's going to go between where the 2 pieces of plywood butt up again. Again, this is an 8 foot, and I'm going to have to put a 2 foot filler piece to finish the rest of the shelf. All right, so the first shelf's all completed. So I have to do this 3 more times. And I was just measuring out and drawing the line so I can cut this sheet of 4x8 plywood in half. All right, the next step is getting the shelf all set up. We've got the lag started on the far end. I'm going to keep it up off the ground about 2 inches just for airflow. The bottom shelf on, again I left a little gap at the bottom for airflow. So these are the bins I'm going to be using on the shelf here. So what I want to do is leave a couple inches so you're able to slide them out. So what I'm going to do is put 2x4s on top of them temporary to space it out, and then I'll set the new shelf on it. Again, I'm setting this up myself, so it's kind of a one-man job right now. So I'll put the next shelf on top, and then we'll get her screwed in. So we got the first 2 shelves in, just doing the third now. Just remember, every time you put your next shelf on, always check for level. And that'd be vertical, horizontal. So you want to make sure it's nice and level there, so when you put it back, all your stuff stays on the shelf. So we'll get this third shelf screwed in, and we'll get to the fourth. All right, I got all 4 shelves in, nice evenly spaced. And I chopped off the top of the 2x4s. Ended up taking off about a foot, 1.5 feet. So the next step is to sweep and clean in behind there, and we'll get this moved in. I should also mention I put a support in the middle of the back of the shelves, and I also put another support right underneath there. It's a little hard to see, just to take some weight so it's not sagging in the center. And if worse comes to worse, I may put a support in the front, like the back going down, just to stabilize the shelves, depending on how much weight I put on it. Alright, so I got her all squeezed in there. Again, it's got a little bit of room on the right hand side. It's very heavy, especially by yourself. Just checking for level, and not going to get much better than that for doing it in the garage with uneven floors. So what I'm going to do next is I got to actually clean up this corner. Must have been a mouse or something over the years, so I want to clean up this corner. Eventually I'm going to repaint all inside the garage, but we'll get some bins on here and see how it looks. Alright, so here's the finished product. Again, these are 107 liter plastic bins. So we've got 3 rows for bins. And then the top shelf can be used for, we have one of the Zodiac tenders, Christmas tree, and some of my saws, miter saw and whatnot up top. Again, this was roughly $200 in lumber for the 2x4s, plywood, screws. And it took about 6 hours to build. It's nice and sturdy. I've actually climbed up on top, and I don't have any concern of it falling over. The only issue I had, as you can see, I park the truck in this side of the garage. You get a little bit of moisture on the ground. So I want to be careful that the moisture actually doesn't get underneath the 2x4s and start rotting it. So potentially I may end up raising this off the ground just a couple millimeters with plastic or something, just so the wood's not touching the cement. Again, this is a detached garage, it's not heated, so I just want to be careful with moisture. Anyways, guys, just wanted to do a video on my new shelving unit I built for my garage in the midst of cleaning out the attic for attic renovations, which I'm sure you'll see some videos later on down the road. Don't mind my crunching, it's some little snow on the cement in the garage. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep an eye on future videos. We're supposed to get quite a dumping in snow this weekend, so I may end up doing another plowing video with the 1952 Ford 8N farm tractor. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend.